Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers, getting listeners. Back again with your only Milwaukee Brewers daily podcast. Yes, that's right. We are a daily podcast uploaded every morning, 5:30 a.m. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, Pocket Cast, iHeartRadio. You name it, we're there. We even have some video. We just started with Twitch today, so I do have a video going on Twitch right now. Let's get that changed to our logo. Showing somebody doing a demo the other day, showing somebody, one of my fellow podcasters, how to use the app and what I like about it. So we are recording every night. If you ever want to join, I tweet out the link, and I also send it to the Facebook group, the Miller Park Minute and the Milwaukee Brewers. You can find us on social at the Miller Park Minute on Instagram. We're Miller Minute on Twitter. You name it, we're there. So, guys, this is the time of year I love. We're 2 weeks away now, and we have seen just about all the top 10 right now. So we've seen, now we're going to get into the when they go to camp and they talk to the teams and stuff like that on MLB Network. Lots of good stuff to come. So we're gonna approach those subjects. We're also going to talk about Corbin Burnes is the top pitcher right now, and we're going to talk a little bit more about why it's time to keep him around versus trading him. Let him build that value and what value he has to us, because I think there's a certain level of value in wins. And I think people are more seeing prospect capital versus the value of the wins right now. So that being said, one more little thing I want to remind you to rate and review and subscribe to our podcasts on all platforms. Whatever platform you're on, you don't have to go to other platforms, just rate and review, but you know what I'm saying. We are now on Patreon. You can join us on Patreon. There will be a YouTube subscription thing we're just reworking. There's a lot of background stuff that has to be done that you don't need to know about. That being said, let's get right into the topic here. First of all, if you haven't gone back, check out Butcher's episode this week about the prospects. That was probably by far one of the best Butcher's blocks that we've had. Butcher's fresh cuts. He's doing a great job over there, and he really pounds the research and puts a lot of time in. So check out his work that he's done. He'd appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're looking to add some new members to the podcast, so that'll be coming in the next few days here. I hope to have some other faces, just a little more insight and a little more perspective from other people in the podcasting world. So if you have a podcast and you want to chat Brewers baseball, hit me in the DMs and we will gladly chat. That being said, last night I had a conversation with David Go of the Barrel Banter. David Go of the Barrel Banter is very much the Butcher. He does the research. He posted a really good comp between CC and Ben Sheets from 2008. I reposted that on the Facebook page. Otherwise, you can go look it up on the YouTube. It's on his YouTube channel. So the Barrel Banters YouTube channel, the Barrel MKE on YouTube. You can go check that out. We had a great conversation. He knows these rules like the back of his hand. The guy is a young collegiate level pitcher, currently on the IR there, but he really knows the rules, and we broke those down in yesterday's episode. So go back and watch that, because if you don't know about these new rules and how they're going to affect, he really gives us a good breakdown and good information. And it's good to have a source like that around that really understands things and just has that brain for it. I think there's plenty of people that do, and we all kind of get what they're trying to achieve. But it was just a good conversation. Talked about winning percentages. We talked about how we're going to benefit or not benefit from this. So lots of good stuff with that. Obviously, when the game changes, we need to talk about it. We need to figure it out, and we need to understand what it's for as a whole. And I think we kind of get that. But one of the things I didn't say last night, one of the things that I was thinking when we were talking about it is like, where are we? Where were we, and are we going? This is the year. 2023 is the year of the most change in the game of baseball that we have seen in our lifetimes. And I mean, I like everybody else, I'm optimistic and hoping for a good product, but at the same time, are we going to see a degraded or a worse product? Who knows? I can't answer that. I'm just hoping for the best. So this morning I was listening to Bart Winkler, as I like to do, and they were doing a "Oh no" or "Oh yeah," and it was really good. So if you don't get a chance to listen to Bart Winkler, go back and listen to him. He's a tremendous podcast. He talks all things Wisconsin sports, not like us, where we just talk Brewers. But they were talking about kind of the excitement for this season and where people are, and I kind of want to know. Drop me. If you're excited, drop me an "oh yeah" and drop me an "oh no" if you're not excited. That would be ideal for me. I'd love to see where we are with that. Hopefully this didn't get interrupted. Siri just went off. Oh my gosh. It always happens when you're not expecting it. So I don't know if that interrupted. What I was saying is they were talking about excitement and where people's level of excitement is going into this season versus seasons past in the prior years. And you can tell me if you're excited down below in the comments. Leave me a message. I just want to I'm trying to gauge the audience and see where everybody's at because I'm curious. For me, as I'm getting more and more into this daily podcast, I'm very excited. I love coming at you guys talking baseball, just having conversations with people in general about talking baseball, about baseball. It's what I enjoy doing. That's why I have all these different guests on, these different conversations on the daily. That's just part of what I do and part of why I love this game and why I created this YouTube channel all those years ago, just to talk baseball and put my opinions out there and, have discussions. I mean, that's what it's for. That's what all of the social media is here for. So that's what it's all about. That being said, let's move. Oh yeah, no, let's talk about this. So to continue on this thought, I had one more thought on this, and I just wanted to say it before I finished. I feel like the Brewers' season expectations are the best when they're the underdog. Or how they play is the best when they're the underdog. When they're not expected to be good is when they're good. And you've seen it year in and year out when we're not talked about, when we're not, the Brewers are going to be the best. That's when we perform our best. So I think even last year we were kind of underrated, and through the first 50 games we had a record. We performed at a record level. So I like that we're not talked about, and there's not as much excitement and build up. The 2018 season was the most excitement, I would say, in the last, good chunk of, playoff runs and things that we've done since 2008. And look where we got there. So it's hard to gauge, but again, we were underdogs. So I always feel like when we're underdogs is when it's the most exciting and the most fun. Along the lines of the Ben Sheets thing, I forgot to mention when I mentioned the Ben Sheets thing. Ben Sheets is going on to the Wall of Honor this season, so that's good for him. Ben Sheets is one of those guys who was kind of a lone wolf in a rotation that really didn't have a lot of characters, and he was really good and was well worth the money we spent on him, and well worth the time. And it's kind of he was my first real favorite starting pitcher in the Brewers organization as I kind of grew up in the 90s, and he was kind of the best guy in that era, or from when I got of the age where baseball was relevant and like super cool to me. And then Jeff Cirillos and Jeff Jenkins and all those guys. Those were my first loves as a Brewers fan. So, but good for him. He is elected to the Wall of Honor. The topic of the video, of course, of course, we have to mention the Brewers' number one pitcher, the Cy Young, All-Star, two-time All-Star, Corbin Burnes, top 10 pitcher right now. And I think this goes without saying. I think we could have predicted this before. But I'm going to run down the list of guys just to give you the comparisons. So Julio Urias was number 10. Urias, I think that's said the same as our Urias. I don't know. Lefty captured 2022 National League ERA title of 2.16 in 31 starts. Jacob deGrom was next, despite injuries in the past 2 seasons. And this goes based off the past 3 years. So they're using all of the good Corbin Burnes for this. He has elite velocity on his fastball. Number 8 is Zach Wheeler with a 2.8 ERA over 69 starts since joining the Phillies in 2020. Max Fried is number 7. Career high 185 innings with a 248. Finished second in the NL Cy Young Award voting last year. Coming off an MVP, Ohtani ranked 3rd in the MLB with a 33.2% K rate in 2022. So I think he kind of gets surpassed just because his numbers are a little worse because he also plays the field and bats. So I think that's kind of why he's ranks. I think he'd be better if he was just full-time a pitcher or full-time a batter, but he's got this ability. Why is he not going to cash in on it? Sandy Alcantara, the Marlins ace, tossed an MLB leading 228 and 2/3 innings with a 2.28 ERA en route to the National League Cy Young Award. Cy Young, that's just only the Cy Young didn't put him at the top yet. Max Scherzer, the old dog. Max Scherzer went 11-5 with a 2.29 ERA during the first season with the Mets. MLBs and has MLB's best 167 ERA over 2 seasons. Carlos Rodon comes in number 3, coming off a showcase season in which he led the majors in strikeout percentage. Rodon inked a 6-year deal with the Yanks. So we'll see how he that's one that's interesting because we'll see how he performs once he gets to the Yanks. Because sometimes these big pitchers kind of tank after they get to the Yankees. So number 2 is obviously Justin Verlander after missing 21 with recovering from Tommy John surgery. Verlander picked up his 3rd Cy Young. Verlander is like a fine wine, only better with age. And of course, number 1 was our guy. Corbin Burnes led the majors in whiff percentage in 2022, posted a career high 243 strikeouts in 33 starts. That being said, Corbin Burnes is our guy. He is the guy right now as far as starting pitchers go. And that actually brings me to a BrewerFanatic.com article. Go over to BrewerFanatic.com. Check them out. Join the forums. I'm posting a video later this evening once I get this one finished. But they talk about and they break down. There's only one relevant comparison. And I think we can take a gander at who is the relevant comparison that is going to be your DeGrom contract. He signed a 4-year deal with the Mets in 2019, and then that contract guaranteed him as much as $137.5 million with a club option that could have been taken in total value as high as $170. However, DeGrom also had the ability to opt out after the 4th year, making the deal worth $107. He did just that. Of course, he signed a new pack for $185 million over 5 years this winter with the Rangers. So a lot of people are saying he wants 5 years at $25 to $30 million. I had a conversation with a gentleman on Facebook, Mike, nice guy. He knows a lot about the numbers. He really researches. and we were talking a little bit back and forth, and I was basically the theory right now, and I guess I want to know where people stand on this. Kind of the theory right now is that Corbin Burnes is going to net us our future. And, well, we might as well get something out of Corbin Burnes. That's what I keep hearing. And I made a comment the other night, and even Butcher came after me and said, well, yeah, we got to get something for him. This is where my argument comes in. We already got something out of him. We have... You could ride Corbin Burnes 2 years out, and we got a Cy Young, an all-star, another no-hitter, and what did it say, 234, 243? I forgot the number, strikeouts in 2022. So that goes without saying. We're already getting something out of him. We're already getting a production level. We're already getting value. We're getting wins. And at what point is a win worth a prospect? Did any of the prospects and any of the players in the Josh Hader trade get us wins? Get us closer to the World Series? Are we trying to have the best farm system, or are we trying to win a World Series? We're trying to win a World Series. And why not, you bring a guy like a Corbin Burnes onto the team, why not let him try and get you to the promised land as long as we have him? Same with Freddie Peralta. I mean, Freddie Peralta's got an extension, but same with, Freddie, Corbin. I would even throw Lauer in there and Woodruff and say, all four of those guys. We've got these 4 young guys that are still not into big contracts yet. Let's let them get us to the promised land. Let's build pieces around them. I think we've made enough moves this offseason that we could be really forming a good club for the year. But everybody has low expectations because they've made some moves that have upset us as fans. And I understand that. But I'm saying we're not needing a rebuild at this point. They don't need to sell the team. Yes, they are being frugal. I get that. And I've ragged on this for years, but at the same time, right now in this window is not the time to start the rebuild. I'm going to say it. I'm going to stamp it on my forehead. Maybe I'll put a banner on the back of my car and drive around the city of Milwaukee. I don't know, but it's not the time for a rebuild. And it's definitely not the time to cash Corbin Burnes in for a future that's not guaranteed. How many players do we have left of the Josh Hader trade? David Gasser. Remember that. And if he doesn't turn out and he never makes it, then it is what it is. There's this thing that happens, and I'm going to say this: we've seen it over and over again. We've got these guys that are stellar prospects, and then we get caught in a rock and a hard place because they're either blocked or they fall off. In Castanera's case specifically, he fell off. He was a great prospect, came up, played very well, and then fell off. Whether the major league pitchers figured him out or he lost it, and that can happen. There's a better percentage of that happening than there is you're going to strike gold and you're going to get a Josh Hader. I mean, how many Josh Haders are there in the history of the Milwaukee Brewers franchise? There's a lot of closers in the history of the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, you got your Dan Kolbs, your John Axfords, your K-Rods, your you name it, Turnbow, Goose Gossage, or not Goose Gossage. Oh my God, Raleigh Fingers. I was thinking Goose Gossage because I saw him in a clip earlier. Never mind. But you know what I mean. We've had a lot of closers, so they come and they go. That being said, generational talents, all-stars, Cy Youngs don't come very often. So let's not get too trigger happy on that. And yeah, I think we could lock up Burnes or Woodruff. I really do. I think that's the judgment call that we land this plane on when we just when we're sitting around next offseason and we're giving a grade on the first year for Matt Arnold, we're going to be looking at, okay, did he do this? Did he do that? Did the team tank and then end up trading Corbin Burnes? You know, I don't want that to happen, but if it does, I may cry live on the podcast. I might. I don't know. We'll see. So keep rooting for that, and you'll see tears from me if that's what you guys really want. If you want me to cry, I'll cry. But I don't think he should be traded this year, and I don't think he should be traded next year because you still got these guys, you still got control, and you still got a chance at the World Series. And I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think that's what this game of baseball is about. It's about going to the World Series and winning and bringing home that trophy, which we don't have one of. So it'd be really nice to get one. That's just my thought. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on Corbin Burnes. That's my thoughts on the whole thing. I just get the words out of your head that in the conclusion that he's going to be traded. Let's worry about getting the World Series. Why can't we conclude that we're going to win a World Series first? I mean, the Phillies were right there. They were right there. Yeah, the Astros were a better team, but the Phillies were right there last year. And I don't know. Just seems silly to me to want to trade them off so fast and not give a chance for the plane to land. So, that being said, there's one more topic on today's bill. Bearing a shakeup in the coming weeks, Devin Williams will be the last line of defense for the Brewers club, being built around the concept of run prevention. Williams went into the last handful of years as a sensational setup man, closer Josh Hader, before sliding into the closer's role himself when the Brewers traded Hader to the Padres. This would have been his first chance to rack up saves over a full year. So this, basically, what they're saying here. This is a McCalvy article, and he's talking about how it is now Devin Williams' time, and he's got some comments here from Devin Williams. I think you guys make more of a big deal about it, in my opinion, than I did, to be honest, Williams said. In the final days of last season, I always viewed the 8th inning as the same as the 9th. Because if I don't do my job there, it's the same thing. It's just when you're closing, you get to shake the catcher's hand. Wow, that is the best quote I've seen from a closer. When you're closing, you get to shake the catcher's hand. Make t-shirts out of that. I might. Would you buy that t-shirt? We'll picture Devin Williams on it. When you're closing, you get to shake the catcher's hand. Solid idea. Transitioning to the 9th inning was never a hurdle I had to get over. But in other ways, 2022 is a successful 28-year-old former NL Rookie of the Year. He made the All-Star game for the first time. He pitched in a career-high 65 games. He worked 3 straight days on 3 occasions. Once when Hader was away while his wife was having pregnancy complications. Once when Hader was struggling in July. And again in the first week after Hader was traded. So, that being said, yes, I have said multiple times over that Josh Hader was a generational talent, was the best thing. Devin Williams is not Josh Hader. But it also says in that Devin Williams has matured a little bit since the initial trade reaction when he was so pissed off. And I think that he's come full circle on this thing and now accepted the fact that it is going to be his job. He has to go out there and do his job. And God bless him. That's awesome. That gives me more pumped about Devin Williams. And I've always liked Devin Williams. I mean, when he first came in as a rookie, I was super jacked about him. It just makes it better. Let's see here. I'm going to read some other comments from him. Just see here. That was kind of a challenge myself, but to be ready every day and take the ball as many times as I did, I'm proud of that. So he's just commenting that he was ready to take the ball and doing good. He tweaked his delivery, Williams said, referring to the point at which he released the baseball. I'm top of the league extension-wise, 93, 95 miles per hour with a 7.5 to 7.6 foot extension, played better, a 6.5 extension with 98 miles per hour. So he's talking about fastballs there. And his changeup, of course, the famous changeup. Yeah, just, I mean, these comments and these things, seeing this stuff, now, like I said, we're in the dead time, but when you read this stuff, when you read these articles on a daily basis, you can't not be excited about the comments that Devin Williams makes, the comments that Garrett Mitchell made the other day, just the different things we see as baseball fans in this great game. It's super exciting to me. I'm excited that we get to see other players. I'm excited that we get to enjoy other parts of the game here, where we're going to get to see more AL teams. We're going to play the whole league this season. We talked about that in yesterday's episode as well. And I've mentioned that on a handful of occasions. You get to see a guy like a Shohei Ohtani. You get to see some of these better players in the games. And for those of you who always have a complaint, when you get to watch these other organizations, realize how they're run. And realize that we're still in the top half of gate attendances. And, these teams have great players. I'd say more than half of the league has great players and spends money. And we could, because we have attendance. So let's be grateful for what we have. I know there's a lot of, like, Twitter is a cesspool of just anger. And so is Facebook some days. But let's be grateful for what we have as Brewers fans and what we get to watch in the All-Stars we're going to roll out next season, and just enjoy the fun while we got it, guys. If you haven't already, share the podcast with your friends. Guys, we're just trying to add some more viewers, add some different avenues to find viewers. I really appreciate everybody who's come along for this ride so far. This has been great. Butcher and I have been working diligently every week. We bring in new guests, new people. We're still working on that every week. It's going to be a rebrand. My stepdaughter made some awesome new logos, taking inspiration from the old logos. I can't wait to unveil those. I got some previews. She showed me some stuff on that tonight. So, mad shout out to her. I will link. I'm going to get her to. So, I'm going to get her to, like, post a link to where she can do this stuff, or something like that. I'll mention in the description once I get all that new logos and the flashy stuff out there. And as always, go to millerparkminute.com. That'll start to be updated on a regular basis over the coming weeks. That is all I got right now, guys. Tomorrow's Friday, so Saturday night, we will be going live somewhere in the vicinity of 4 to 6. Let me know in the comments if you have the bell notification on. If not, turn the bell notification on, and you can get updates, and then I'll tell you when I go live. Otherwise, I try and post it everywhere, but let me know, if you see when it goes live. Just curious. All right, guys, that is all I got for tonight. So thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute, and go Brewers.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.